Hi everyone. This video is a continuation of previous video on Delta Lake features. Make sure you watch the previous video before this. The video link has been given in the description. Also it is given in the I button in the top right corner. Please find the attached Medium blog link in this video description where you can find all the code snippets used in this demo with the theoretical explanation. We will see the Delta features in a practical demo. So now I'm simulating the test data with some 4 records with product ID, product name, row flag and stocks left. This row flag may contain I, U or D, which stands for insert, update or delete. This will be covered in CDC example. So as of now, don't worry about it. As of now, think about we have 4 columns and 4 rows. Now we have created a database and database name, and we will have a delta table as well as Parquet table for comparing between these delta features versus the plain Parquet file. So now initially we are going to load this data frame which we created in this simulation script. Means we simulated the sample data, and using this particular data frame product df, we are going to create an initial override using Parquet file format and delta file format. We are using CoalesUpDiv to reduce the number of partitions in the latest, like in the destination directory where the data will get stored. So here you need to write you need to change only the Parquet file format to delta file format in order to store it in delta. Once initial load is completed in Parquet and delta file format, you will see a different directory only in delta file format storage. That directory name is delta log. Under this, all the transactional logs will be stored. These two files are your actual data files. There are only two files because we used CoalesUpDiv. So in Databricks, you have to use this magic command, and FS stands for file system, in order to list the directory. Like we have HDFS in our on-premise, like that in Databricks you have a file system command to view all this DBFS file system data where your Delta Lake is storing. DBFS is nothing but you can consider it is like a Hadoop compatible file system storage, just a naming convention which they are using in DBFS in Databricks. So inside this delta log directory, you will see the JSON file along with some other checksum files and all. You just need to concentrate on this JSON files, which is we calling it as metadata files. Just I am opening that file to view the data. You have to use head command to read the data, like we will be using cat in normal Linux system. So here you will see the information which we saw in our slide, like commit info, protocol, metadata information, and add Parquet files, and capture their stats. Also you will the schema will be captured in metadata. So to view it prettier, I'm using JSON API in Spark. So the same file which we opened and just which we used a head command, we are using a Spark API to read it in data frame so that we can view it in a better way. If you see here, this is the commit info, which will say like written by who and what kind of operation it is, write or merge, and at what time it is written, and how many files has been written, what is the size, how many number of rows, kind of metrics it will be captured. So under this metadata, you can see the schema is captured. This is our schema: product ID, product name, row flag, and stocks left. Now if you see under add, you can see we have two Parquet files added. So also you can see the metrics captured for each file, like number of records and minimum value for each column and maximum values for each column. This information has been used for data skipping and partition pruning kind of information. This information helps Delta Lake to perform faster compared with vanilla Parquet files. So just I'm selecting this information from the Parquet table which we did the initial load here. we did the initial load for Parquet table and Delta table. Here we are just viewing the table information. We have 4 records here, and the same, like here there won't be much difference, but the difference starts once you are seeing the DDL and DML operations, schema evolution, these kind of things. So now to check the data type changes, how it is handled in both cases, in Parquet and Delta. Now for this I am just changing this integer value to string value 11 and typecasted that to string and created this simulation data frame. Now this type changed product data frame, I am using this to write it into Parquet file format. Before that I am checking the schema, like as we just changed our stocks column, which is an integer column previously, is converted to string column. In Parquet it will throw an no error will be thrown while writing because it is schema on read. Even there is a schema mismatch, it will not throw any error when you are writing in Parquet file format. When you read that after you write, you can see the null values for which you have inserted 11 as a string. Also, I have changed this to a float value. This also has been automatically typecasted to integer value. But in case of Delta, it is inverse. You can expect it throws an error due to incompatible data type mismatch, because this follows schema on write, which is like your RDB, like similar to our RDBMS world. So this prohibits the corrupt data to enter into your Delta Lake. So when you are reading the Delta Lake, the table will be untouched. This is we are calling schema enforcement feature in Delta Lake. And next we will see schema evolution feature. Now what I am doing is I am simulating the sample data frame with a new column called new call. So this new call, when new call product df, when you are writing into Delta Parquet file format, it will throw a schema mismatch when there is a new column which is not present in your existing schema. But in case of Delta, it will also throws a schema mismatch detected error when you write without using merge schema option. Now here we are just using the same like Parquet how we had tried, but in case if you expect your upstream application can there may be chances in your upstream application the schema will be evolved by day goes, then you need to enable this merge schema feature to handle those kind of DDL changes. This is one of your CDC feature as well. So once you enable this merge schema as true, you can expect this column will be added for this current write, and all the previous values of that particular column will be null. As expected, you can see when you are selecting the Delta table, you can see this new column feature which you added in this current data frame is added, and for the previous data which is already present in Delta Lake, it is populated as null, which is expected. Now we will see a sample CDC use case. Usually in CDC there are like multiple slowly changing dimension. In this we will be seeing slowly changing dimension type 1, and here we are going to use the merge command to implement this CDC type 1 feature. Here we are going to simulate the sample data frame for our merge operation. So in our existing data, now you can see this change in our row flag. Previously all our data we have inserted will have an insert flag. Now we have updates and deletes. Assume our inventory has the stocks left has information for each product has been updated. So for this product we have 0 stocks left, so we are deleting from our Delta table. Remaining stocks has been updated from the previous values. So now usually a merge operation will happens like when inserts are there in your source data frame, means this is the incoming data frame. So target data frame you can consider as a Delta Lake. When there is an insert flag in your source data frame, that is considered as a insert in your delta table as well. When it is an update, it will be it should update these complete information whatever changes in this particular record to your delta table. When there is a delete flag, that record needs to be deleted from your delta lake. So you can also consider this deletes and all happens in delta lake when you have to maintain some kind of GDPR compliance in your data. So these kind of, because GDPR complaints, if your upstream applications are asking this kind of customer information, we need to delete. So at the time you have to implement these kind of delete features, which previously before Delta Lake it is tedious job. Means you need to create a new table by selecting this whatever record which we want to delete. By excluding those information, you need to select and move this data to temporary table. Then again you need to move into your production table. All this in like workaround has became seamless after the invention of Delta Lake features. So I'm creating just the sample data frame with the name of merge product df, and I'm going to use SQL. So I'm converting it to a temporary view. This temporary view is not needed if you are going to use a data frame merge API itself. So here, if you see, I'm using this delta table as my target table, and my source table will be this source data frame which we have simulated with the updates and deletes. So now here, when this input ID is matched, means the product ID is matched and the row flag is update, then I need to update all the column values for the particular record. When the product ID is matched and if the delete flag is there for the source data frame, then I need to delete the particular record in my target delta table. When it is not matched with my product ID in my delta table and the flag is I, it is considered as a insert. So after running this command, you can see a delta table. By just select star, you will see the changes affected in your delta table. Means you can see this, all your flags are updates, and you can see that 1004 record is not present because we have a delete flag set in that particular Dell Inspiron product. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to Tech Island.